This week I'm going to do a quick video on prefix and postfix increments because it seems like there was a very interesting discussion on it on the discussion board. So I did want to address this. First of all, I apologize for the sound quality. I don't have my microphone with me at the moment, so hopefully this turns out okay. All right, so let's talk about the postfix and prefix. If you're doing this on a line of code by itself, it makes absolutely no difference if it's before or after. So I will demonstrate what I mean by that. So let's say I have something like int x is equal to 1. And I then decide to print out kind of before and after statements. So I'll say cout x, and then I'll say x plus plus, and then I'll cout x again. Okay, what I'm expecting to see from this is that it's going to print out 1. My line 8 is simply incrementing my x by 1. And then on line 9, I'm printing out my update of x, so I get 1 and 2 as expected. Now, if I decide to put the plus plus in front of this, line 8 is solely incrementing my x. So as I mentioned before, the output isn't going to change. I'm still going to get 1 and 2. The only time that it really makes a difference whether or not the plus plus is before or after the variable is if you're trying to do 2 things at one time. So what do I mean by 2 things at one time? So right now, line 8 is simply trying to update my x. But if I'm trying to do more than one thing at a time, like, for example, let's say that I want int y is equal to plus plus x. Now I have a situation where I'm trying to do 2 things on one line of code. I'm trying to initialize a y, and I'm trying to update my x. So now it makes a difference as to if the plus plus is before or after. Now, if I just run this, it's not going to make a difference with my output. I'm still updating my x, but what is going to make a difference is if I then display my y, because I need to know, is the update happening before or after I use the variable x? So it's helpful to kind of think of it this way. If the plus plus is before, update first before using the variable x. If the plus plus is after, like we'll demonstrate one and then the other, you want to use the variable first, then update your x. So right now, what I want to do is I want to update my x first, and then I want to use the x. So what I'm going to see is that y is equal to 2. So I should see 1, 2, 2 as my output, which is what I have here. However, if I flip this around and I say x plus plus, what I'm trying to say is use the x first, then update the x. So that means the value of my y is going to be the value of x first. So that means my output is going to be 1, 2, 1 this time, just like I have 1, 2, 1. And there's a couple other incidents where I may want to do more than one thing at a time. Like, for example, maybe I want to do a cout plus plus y. So this is another example of me trying to do more than one thing on a line of code. On line 10, not only am I printing out y, but I'm also updating the value of y. So what happens here is I got to think about, am I printing out the value before or after I update? So because the plus plus is happening before, it means update y, then print it. So if I'm following and tracing this code, after line 8, y is going to have the old value of x, and then x is going to get updated. So y is currently 1, x is currently 2. So I'm printing out on line 9, 2. Then line 10 says, update the value of y, then use y. So that means this line is going to print out 2. And then no changes have been made to y, so 2 is going to get printed out again. So what I'm anticipating as the output here is this is going to give me 1. That one's a little bit more obvious. Here, the value of y is 1. The value of x is going to be 2. So here, x is 2. And then I said y is 1, so I'm updating first, then using y, so that's why I have 2 in here. So my output is going to be 1, 2, 2, 2, just as expected. Now, I know this came up in a slightly different context. This context came up in the for loop. So if I have for int I is equal to 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus. Now, for this particular loop here, I can think of the I++, the update, as being on a line of code by itself. So why that really doesn't make a difference if it's on a line of code by itself, because I showed you when we were only trying to do one thing, or x plus plus or plus plus x. So if I look at my loop here, which is this last line, I have 0, 1, and 2. So if I were to flip this and do a plus plus I'm going to get the exact same values, because once again, the update is happening on a line of code. Really, I can think about this update by itself. So the short answer is that in the context of a loop, plus plus prefix postfix does not change what's happening in the loop. The only time a postfix and a prefix actually makes a difference is if you're trying to do more than one thing at a time, like on line 8 and on line 10. So then I need to pay attention to if it's postfix or prefix.